Have you ever had a gut feeling that just screamed at you and it turned out to be spot on? A hunch about someone or something that you just couldn't shake? What if I told you that's not a coincidence, but a sign of a powerful, hidden mental architecture at work? Today, we're decoding that very architecture. It sounds a little like science fiction, doesn't it? But think about a seasoned detective who walks onto a crime scene and instantly sees the one clue everyone else missed. Or a CEO who just knows which way the market is about to turn. That's not magic. It's a highly developed ability to see patterns that are invisible to the rest of us. Okay, let's get into this. So, what do we actually call people who seem to have this sixth sense? Well, psychology has a pretty cool name for them: pattern hunters. These are minds that are basically hardwired to find the secret connections between events, ideas, and people, and then use those connections to see what's coming next with, honestly, surprising clarity. So, how in the world do they do it? Look, it's not some single superpower. It's a whole toolkit of subconscious abilities all working together. We're about to break down the 8 key psychological signs that really reveal the mind of a pattern hunter. Let's unlock the first one. The very first sign is a process that operates kind of like a secret, hidden computer processor that's always running in the background of your mind. It's called subconscious data synthesis. It's your brain's incredible ability to absorb and connect information without you even being aware that it's happening. Just think about the fire hose of information you take in every single day. The subtle tone in your boss's email, the way a politician hesitates for a split second, the data in a news report you barely skimmed. A pattern hunter's mind is like a sponge for all of it. In the background, it's constantly connecting these seemingly random dots, and that's the real source of a gut feeling. It feels like a guess, but it's actually a conclusion based on a massive amount of hidden data. So if the first sign is all about absorbing data, the second is about spotting what's missing or what's just plain wrong with it. This is your mind's built-in alarm system. Have you ever walked into a room and just felt that something was off, even though you couldn't put your finger on it? That is anomalous pattern detection in action. And this is a really powerful survival instinct. Your brain creates an unconscious baseline for what normal is in any situation. A pattern hunter's brain is just exceptionally sensitive to that baseline. So when one tiny detail is out of place, a car parked where it shouldn't be, a coworker who's a little too quiet, their internal alarm just goes off, signaling an inconsistency that most people would completely miss. Does any of this sound familiar? If you've ever had that spidey sense tingling, let us know in the comments which one of these signs you recognize in yourself. And hey, if you're getting value out of this, do us a favor and hit that like button. It really helps us bring you more explainers just like this one. All right, the next sign is a form of what I'd call mental alchemy, where the brain creates gold from completely unrelated ideas. We call it cross-contextual linking. Think of a chef who combines 2 totally different ingredients, like caramel and sea salt, to create a surprisingly delicious new flavor. Well, pattern hunters do this with ideas. So a pattern hunter might be reading about how fungi create these vast underground networks, and suddenly, bam, they have a breakthrough insight on how to structure a social media campaign. They see the underlying patterns and analogies that connect everything, which lets them pull solutions from one field and apply them to solve a totally different problem. It's pretty much the bedrock of all innovation. And you know, that ability to see connections naturally leads us to our fourth sign, which applies this exact same skill, but to people. This isn't just about feeling for someone. It's about intuitively understanding where their feelings, and because of that, their actions, are going. This is basically a biological hack for social navigation. Pattern hunters are like social detectives, unconsciously processing thousands of tiny nonverbal cues. They're reading those microexpressions, the split-second flashes of emotion on someone's face, along with their posture and tone of voice. This lets them accurately sense the emotional trajectory of an entire room and anticipate how someone will react long before they actually do it. Okay, so far we've covered the foundational tools in the pattern hunter's toolkit. Now we're going to move to the advanced skills, the ones that let them see the really big picture, understand complex systems, and even get a glimpse of the future. The first of these advanced patterns allows them to see the world not just as a series of events, but as a giant interconnected web of consequences. This is the ability to see the world like a giant chessboard, understanding the consequences of a single move many steps in advance. You see, Most people think about the immediate effect of their actions, that first ripple. A pattern hunter instinctively sees all the ripples. They mentally play out the second, third, and fourth order consequences, understanding how one tiny decision in a complex system, like a business or an economy, can create a huge, unexpected outcome months or even years down the line. And this foresight is often built on an intuitive understanding of the past, which brings us right to our next sign. Here's a profound psychological truth for you. Those who see the past clearly can often anticipate the future. This is the ability to recognize that today's events are really just echoes of what has come before. You know how Mark Twain famously said, "History doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes"? Well, pattern hunters have a deep, intuitive understanding of this. They see how the same fundamental patterns of human behavior and social dynamics play out over and over again. By recognizing a historical parallel in a current event, they can literally use the past as a map to navigate the future. Okay, so if you can link the past to the future, the next logical step is linking concepts together to create the future. This is the engine of radical innovation. Just think about the invention of the smartphone. It wasn't a totally new idea, right? It was a blend of two existing concepts, the telephone and the personal computer. That, right there, is conceptual blending. It's honestly like playing with mental Legos. You take the structure of one idea and you just snap it together with a completely different one to create something that's never existed before. This is where the true creative leaps, the ideas that actually change the world, come from. And finally, we arrive at the most subtle and perhaps the most powerful pattern of all, one that happens in the blink of an eye. This is a primal, powerful skill for reading what's truly being communicated, completely bypassing the words someone is using. We talked about micro-expressions earlier, those involuntary facial movements that reveal our genuine emotions. They last for less than half a second, but a pattern hunter's brain registers and decodes them automatically. These expressions are like tiny windows into what a person is really thinking. Now, it's not a foolproof lie detector, but it gives them an incredibly accurate sense of a person's true feelings, even when their words are saying the exact opposite. So there you have it. When you put all 8 of these signs together, you can see this isn't just some random collection of skills. It is a complete, interconnected system for understanding the hidden layers of the world. And that's really the crucial point here. Intuition isn't a mystical force. It's a real, measurable phenomenon, a sophisticated architecture built on the brain's incredible and often unconscious power to hunt for patterns. So, the big question is, are pattern hunters born or are they made? Is it a gift that some people just have or a skill that anyone can develop? The truth is, it's probably both. Some people might be born with a better blueprint, but the good news is that by learning to pay closer attention to the world around you and your own gut feelings, you can absolutely get better at spotting patterns and trusting your intuition. If you want to learn more about how to unlock the hidden powers of your own mind, be sure to follow us for more. We have a lot more secrets to share.